We are live. We are live. Welcome everybody. Sunday night, Mad Monster Sergeant Horror here. We got Mark with us. How's things going, Mark?
Good. It's been beautiful here. It's been hot. California's on fire, but here in Huntington Beach, the water's been tropical. Having a good time.
What about you,
Very nice.
Amanda? How things going, Phantasm420?
Well, I'm traveling right now from Highland Park in Northeast LA back home to West Hollywood. It's a little warmer here than by the beach, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I know. It's hell up there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Vicky says hello. Hello, Vicky. Um, Let me see something here. There we go. Beth says, "Love my favorite duo talking about horror. Appreciate you, Beth." Vicky says, "Hey, Mr. Richardson."
Hey, Vicky.
Liz says, "Hey, everybody."
Hey.
Hey,
Scott says, "Hey."
Hey,
hey,
Scott.
Mad Monster fan.
Angela says, "Hello." Hello, Angela. Travis says, "Hey, everyone."
Hey, Travis.
Robert says, "Hello, everyone."
Hey,
Well,
Robert. Hey.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Today we're going to talk about it. Everybody watching this, I need y'all to share it right now. Tag a friend, let them know that they need to watch this and tune in. I hope everything's going great with everybody. Everybody had a good weekend. Jay says, "What's up, Sarge? What's up, Jay?" Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about Halloween, the 2018, because the theme here at Mad Monster has been about Bloomhouse this week. Uh, Bloom, I don't even know where to start with this one. I'll go on the record as I'm not, if it was Terminator 16, I like the new Halloween as Terminator 16. As an addition to the Halloween franchise, Mark, what's your judgment on Halloween 2018?
Well, like I said, I like it. They just pay homage to everything. They wipe the board. They started off. It's almost like Halloween 2, but we have even the trick or treaters from Halloween 3 are in it. All the kills from all the movies are in it and stuff like that. I like this film until it gets to the Dr. Loomis wannabe character. He's like the Ash in Alien, where you think he's a good guy, but he's a piece of crap. From there on in, it takes on a whole new world, and it stops being a Michael Myers Halloween film, and it just takes on like this creepy ass low budget writing thing. It from there on, Home Alone, I lose it. Yeah, Michael Myers is Home Alone, in the house, but I still, at the very beginning of this film, and I don't want to take up, I want everybody to share this. I love, as soon as the rotted pumpkin starts going back to being the original pumpkin from Halloween, I'm on board. That soundtrack is amazing. I'm on board. The kills, the kills. When you look at this, Michael Myers strangling what a 14-year-old kid. There's some mean, vicious kills in the beginning of this thing. So I was like, I just wanted it to play out like that. But then it does get, too, when it goes Sarah Connor on us, she's not even a good. Here, she's been planning this forever, and she's got a 30-30 rifle and a knife. She would be tactical. She would have guns. She would have an M16. She would have weapons that are going to take this guy down. But she has like this cowboy rifle and a knife. It's like, what's that all about? She teaches her daughter, and what's her daughter have? Looks like it was a 22. That if she's going to go tactical, go tactical. If you're going to go in the house, if you're going to make your house with lights outside all over, maybe you should put some lights in the house. She's walking around with a flashlight and a gun in the house. That whole house should have been lit up. There's just so much that they did it's almost like they gave up at the end of that thing. But I'm going a little too far and ahead of myself. Let us move on here.
All right, and I want everybody watching this to comment on here and let us know what you thought of Halloween 2018. How does that rank within the Halloween franchise for you? Amanda, what is your thoughts? Phantasm 420, what's your thoughts on this?
My service got choppy for just a second. Did you ask me what my thoughts are?
Yes.
We can hear you now.
By a moment.
She's pulling a Levi.
I did. We miss you, Levi, wherever you are out there. I actually really love this movie, and Mr. Richardson, Mark, you hit on a lot of points that I really, really like about this movie. It pays homage. Even though they retconned it and they wiped the board, I really liked the Easter eggs. My favorite Easter egg in this movie is when the deputy is called to the disturbance in the neighborhood, and it's at 707 Meridian Avenue, and that's the address of the original Myers house. So I really like that. And it's a franchise that I absolutely adore. I love seeing Michael Myers again. It's not perfect by any means, but the horror fan in me just absolutely adored this movie. I watched it 8 times during its theatrical release because I love the movies. I absolutely love being at the movies with the popcorn, and it's the best environment. And yeah, I can see where the doctor is problematic and that whole storyline and everything. He does in fact get his comeuppance, which is nice. But I really
no
thought
reason
that
for that.
Yeah, I can see that. I thought it was a love letter to the fans of the franchise. Not necessarily just 1 or 2 movies, but like those fans who are hardcore. Like, I've seen all the movies. I have the box set. I own every single movie, even Rob Zombie's terrible versions. But
hey, watch it. I worked on that.
I'm sorry, but what you did was magic.
Thanks.
But otherwise, it's just for those fans who, even though I own every copy, I'll still watch it when it comes on AMC every year, and they show the good ones and the bad ones. So
Well,
I think for fans like me, yes.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of these Easter eggs. Do you mind, Sergeant Horror, if we talk about the Easter eggs? Because they're really
let's real quick. Let's see what the fans are saying. Jay says the first Halloween was the only one I liked. The rest are just the same old, same old. Travis says Halloween 2018 was pretty awesome. Mr. Elrod came back. Angela says, I wish it didn't write off Halloween 2.
That's true.
Levi says Dr. Sartan is an insulting as a character. Scott says I love it, but I agree. Craig says I've seen it 3 or 4 times. I like it. It is much better than anything 4-8.
I agree.
Travis says the decapitated head that Michael makes into a jack-o'-lantern was one of the best kills.
That's a great kill.
Hunter Wayne says she's quaint without the sequel's worth of trauma. Vicky says, hi, are we still chatting tonight? Yes, we are, Vicky. Travis says, I wonder why Michael is so fascinated by truck stop bathrooms. Isn't that where Arnold Schwarzenegger came in and got some clothes in one of the
he got those. He got the clothes. The first time he got them from some punk rockers. Bill Paxton was one of the punk rockers. The second time it was a bar. It was a bar where he got his clothes. I need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle. The bathroom scene in there, was awesome. When Michael Myers drops the teeth on the girl, that's a pretty badass scene. But I think there's been 3 Halloweens where the kills have been in the bathroom.
Liz says, man's got a poop.
Yeah.
Levi says, I'll take Buster Rhymes versus Michael any day over Halloween 2018. Oh, my goodness. That's... Scott says, I loved it all. The cameos. Tyler
what they pay homage to Resurrection in 2018. Do you know where?
I don't have the Easter eggs memorized like you guys do.
The van, the church van, it says Resurrection on the church van, and there's a great scene where the podcast guy, before he goes in there, there's this like old woman sitting in Resurrection, and she's like going, look, to see Michael Myers walk, like she sees him, but they don't play any focus to it and stuff. So that's a great scene. But yeah, they pay homage to Resurrection. Probably the worst of the worst, I think.
Jenna says, I loved it. It was amazing. I can't wait for the next movie. Danny McBride and the rest of the crew did a wonderful job. The doctor was a bit much overdone, but overall I loved it. Bev said, I took my son and young nephew to that movie. It was a great bonding moment.
Horror films are a great bonding movie with kids.
I was telling somebody the other day, I remember when they had Friday the 13th, I think it's part 3 came out. It made the local newspaper because the theater owner had a Jason Voorhees running down the aisle with a machete, and there was a dummy in the first row, and he chopped the head off the first dummy.
That's great. That's all William Castle. That happened a lot in the 60s. They did a lot of that stuff. But what do you guys think? I want to keep bringing it back. What do you think? Well, Nick Castle coming back, that was fantastic. To actually have Nick Castle doing, some of it in the back. That was Nick Castle. That was Nick's Castle in the insane asylum. That was fantastic, and I love that. But what did you think? Because I thought it was kind of odd that they would replace Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode's character, with Michael, like in the school when PJ Soul was the teacher. But she looks out the window instead of Michael, it's her. When he throws her out the window and he looks and she's gone, it was her. What did you think of that? Did you love that, or did you think it was a little bit odd?
I actually loved it when she went out the window and then was gone. I thought that was awesome. Like, I was one of the fans that was cheering.
Yeah,
because
I
love those.
You knew that was going to happen. You knew. I mean, the way that was shot, you're going, oh, okay, she's going to be gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it's akin for me to like when I watched Rogue One, and knowing that the end of the movie was the beginning of Star Wars, like that kind of, and you hear the lightsaber go on, like that's that kind of nostalgic hit for me. And so I was like,
yeah, well, like I say, as soon as I heard the theme song, I'm on board. I'll bitch about the film. I'll bitch about things I didn't like, but I'm still a huge fan of the film. The fact I'm seeing Michael Myers doing this stuff, even if it's the same exact thing, I'm in the theater and I'm watching it. That's always going to be exciting for me.
That's why they keep giving us these crappy remakes, is because they know people are nostalgic about getting to see Michael or getting to see Jason or getting to see Leatherface, so they keep making the same shit instead of investing in indie films. I want to show y'all some of the things that I had a problem with this over.
Uh-oh.
First of all, is what the hell is up with the socially distanced checkerboard thing that they call that in the movie? I mean, really? Nobody does that. And if the guys are so dangerous, they would not go outside. Because I'll tell you why. Somebody's got to get on their knees and put a cuff on this guy's ankle and chain him to that weight.
That's true.
Who's going to do that if he's really that dangerous?
Okay, that's a good point.
I took it like visually, it's exactly that. It's supposed to be like an Alice in Wonderland wizard, a wizardly chess thing. They're just that whole trippy beginning with the podcaster and holding up the mask and all the inmates going crazy. I mean, that was really artsy fartsy, and unlike,
it's not realistic though.
It's ridiculous.
Not realistic.
It was ridiculous. That's what I was talking about. There's certain things in it that was ridiculous, and that.
So you agree with me, Mark, that socially distant chessboard in the yard is not what asylums do? Yeah,
I liked the original. So I mean, they pay homage to the original one when the prison bus is wrecked and the prisoners, the inmates are like wandering around. But I like that. I even liked Rob Zombie's version where it's just people wandering out of the asylum. This is like some kind of Alice in Wonderland shit here.
Very don't come around here no more, Tom Petty.
Yeah, very much so.
And Levi makes a good point. How did the podcaster even get the mask?
Well,
That was
That
one
was
thing,
my next
yeah.
problem.
well, no, he mentions it's said how he gets it. He gets it from the attorney, and he was friends with. They do make reference on how he got it.
Yeah,
It
but
was
that's not believable at all. That would
no,
be if that was the real Michael Myers mask that Michael killed people with. It would have been in an evidence bag. It
yeah,
would have been protected. That would have been a hot murderabilia item that would have went for sale for tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, a John Wayne Gacy memorabilia painting that John Wayne Gacy painted in prison goes for roughly 15 to 20 grand.
that's crazy.
There's no way a district attorney would, or a prosecutor, or anybody that works in evidence would risk losing their job giving this guy a mask. I mean, if you're going to give me Halloween, let's just make it realistic.
Yeah, this whole thing was really funky. I had a problem with the podcasters. I like their death scene, but you know, yeah, they once again they were characters that they just put in there to kill off.
That's what I think of that scene. It was cheesy, like a Lego thing. The Lego version of that was better than the real version. What did you think, Manda? Did you like the socially distanced chessboard and the mask raising up? Hello? I guess you can't hear. Could y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you. We're
All right.
losing her, but I'm sure she's saying, you know, she loved it. She's a big fan of it. Uh-oh, here she is.
Oh, gentlemen, I'm so sorry. I lost my audio for a second.
Can you hear her? She's hanging out with Levi with that internet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have to admit I didn't like that part. You know, once it got started though, once Michael was out killing people, I was on board. You know, that's what he does best.
But see, this is the other thing that got me is if Lori is not Michael's sister,
Yeah,
he got that pissed off at the girl that put the key underneath the mat at his old house. Really? As Mike, see, this is my thinking. If Michael is this, if we say, okay, we're forgetting part 2, we're just going to part 1, and now we're doing Halloween. Okay, this is where I see it. Michael breaks out. He goes back to Haddonfield. He kills everybody. He don't give a shit about Lori.
he's going home to kill. That's, you know.
But why does he got to kill her if she's not his sister?
All that was very confusing to me. But I'll tell you, unfortunately, you know, I work with Jamie Lee Curtis, and so whenever I work with these people, you know, I'm such a fanboy. You know, I totally bent her ear about Halloween. I totally bent her ear about Halloween 2. You know, and H2O. Starting with H2O and Steve Miner directing that, she has a lot to say. So I'm sure her name's not in the credits as a writer, but I think a lot of that weird stuff with Jamie Lee Curtis going, oh, this is going to be great. I talk to the fans all the time. They're going to love this. Put this in. And it's Jamie Lee Curtis. So people are going, oh, okay, we'll do that for you. I see a lot of that stuff.
They should have just let her direct it then and would not have her in it as a character.
Yeah, but it would have been even far worse. It would have been far worse.
And they need to stop listening to her then.
That's true.
I mean, she's an actress. She's supposed to show up and act. I mean,
yeah, but these actors, once they get powerful, you know, they start directing, writing, you know, because it's their name.
And then they start losing investors' money, and they stop getting their movie greenlit. As people, I mean, I know the drill. You know the drill, Mark. You take an investor around the star. The investor says, "Oh, I got to hang out with Jamie Lee Curtis. Let me write a check for the next movie because it's going to be big." Nah.
But I mean, obviously, Halloween Kills is the sequel to this Halloween film, so it picks up right at the end of that. So obviously, they got the money. It had to be successful enough to do it. You know?
I mean, it was successful. The finances on that was great. I mean, it did. They're saying $255 million against a $10 million budget, They probably had about 20 million in promos. So 255, say they got to keep 200 of that. They don't get to keep all of it because the theaters get some of it, regardless of what people say. The theaters get some of it. So say they made 200 million. So they made about 70 million off of it simply from nostalgia. There's that many people that don't give a crap on the quality of the movie. They're just going to take the gamble and hope that Halloween is good.
Yeah, but when you we got audio for you?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. My audio went out. I got a call and technology is dumb.
You want to chime in?
I do. I actually, and you know what? I'm not looking forward to Halloween Kills at all. I loved Halloween 2018, but when they announced 2 additional movies, 2 more sequels, to me, it just became like the Lord of the Rings and like, oh, you know, we've got the 2 towers and then the Return of the King. Like, I thought it was perfect the way it was and just let it go like that. So I actually am not.
Yeah, if they're going to make money off it in horror films, that's not going to happen. They're going to make it and make it and make it.
They're going to make the crap out of it until it loses money, like Millennium did with the Leatherface film. You know, Platinum Dunes made, you know, Michael Bay made some good money off of doing those horror movie reboots, and the quality wasn't that bad. You know, I was hoping Blumhouse could deliver quality, but it all boils down to a script. I refuse to believe that Danny McBride wrote a better script than Marcus Dunstan. I mean, I read the Marcus Dunstan script. Ain't no way in hell I would have allowed that the Danny McBride to touch that script. Ain't no way. I'd have been like, Danny, go make Your Highness Part 3 or Pineapple Express Part 2. You know, not Halloween. Just because you're a fan of the movie, don't mean you should make the movie.
Now,
well, you know,
go ahead.
Please go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, as far as like reboots are concerned, or this one really on a technicality is a sequel, really is the part 2. To me, the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, that was horrendous. That's an example of a really bad remake. But I really liked, say, for example, I think it's 2009 Friday the 13th. I thought that was an example of a really good remake and something that is possible. And what else? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The first one that they redid was good, and then they kind of could have left it at that. And of course, money talks. So now we're at Halloween Kills, etc.
And that's why we get these movies. If you guys wouldn't, and this is going to be the key question, is how many of you people are going to go out and after COVID and see these movies in theaters? See, Hollywood doesn't think that you're going to go. That's why they're delaying everything. They don't know what to do but delay because they're dumping movies on the market and losing money like crazy. And we'll get to that in a second. I want to go to Jenna's comment. Jenna says, so I think the checkerboard scene was the start of the next killing spree. In the first movie, all Laurie did was go onto his property in the beginning. Then he was after Laurie and her friends. In the checkerboard scene, in 2018, I think there were particular patients needed to go outside for sunlight, but they had to be distanced because there are psychological problems with patients where they will snap as someone approaches them. I think that was the thing with Michael they needed. I mean, this is what happens in real life. I ain't saying I've been in an asylum. I ain't saying I've been locked up. You know, I'm just a pig clown sitting here talking about horror movies. But they take you out your cell. You got to put your hands through the slot. They cuff you up from behind. The 2 guards take you down the hallway, and they put you in these dog pen things. And these dog pen things are just reinforced chain link fences on a pad like you do a dog. They lock you in there. And then that way, when it's time to come up, you do the cuts through the slot. You can't take out, you know, usually on a unit like that, when I was in there was probably about 100 people on lockdown, and you got an 8-hour day for the guards. So the guards would have to take 100 people out 10 at a time. And when you're so dangerous that they don't put you, what they do is no human contact. And what no human contact means is that you can only have contact with the staff of the institution. And you can't have contact with other inmates or patients. So what they do is they put you in there, and there's no way you can touch or get to anybody else. It's even got a top on it. And you only get the sunlight, or if you get locked up in California, they put you out in just a cement pen, you know. But it wasn't realistic. And like I said, I ain't saying I've been locked up nowhere. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't need nobody to come and get me.
I mean, valid points, absolutely. And yet, at the same time, I don't watch Halloween or any slasher movies or really any horror for the realism. I watch it as an escape for entertainment purposes.
That pretty much goes out the door when you think he's going to be shot 6 times and still got up, as Mr. Loomis would tell you.
Yeah.
Well, see, my thing is this: y'all say you watch it from escape. I mean, do you not watch it? And I want the people watching. I want you guys to let me know what you think. If you watching horror movies for escapism, then that means you're watching a movie to see a bunch of people get killed to escape reality and potentially, maybe, I don't know about y'all, fantasize about going on a killing spree yourself and watching everybody get killed. You kind of living vicariously through Michael Myers, wishing you were the one that had the knife to go in there and get some.
Says the crown pig who wants to purge.
I get some. I want to see it realistically get some. If not, I can't escape.
You're always going to have the concept of a carnival, a roller coaster, and you're scared for your life. You're in a situation that makes you frightened. But in the back of your head, thousands of people do it. You're going to be fine. But it's a thrill. It's fun. Same thing with horror films. I'm not going to go kill somebody because I'm watching a horror film, but I am going to be frightened for that person. I'm going to care about that person. I am going to, but at the same time, I'm going to laugh afterwards. Every horror film I've ever seen where there was a really great scare. I mean, the alien burst, the head coming out of the hole in Jaws. People screamed when that happened. And then abruption of laughter. Everybody starts laughing. That's why we watch that film. We want to be put in the most dangerous situation ever, worst case scenario, and live through it and laugh about it afterwards. That's how I take it. And I think that's how most people take it. We're not going to look at it. We're not taking notes, for our school teacher to go out and take out. We're just enjoying that.
You're not taking notes. You're not saying, if somebody cut me off, I might do that knife through the neck thing.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay. I'll shut up about that then. Let's move on to Justine says the Lego scene is actually cooler than the Halloween was. I finally agree with Justine on something. Levi says, I love Halloween H20. You're crazy, Levi.
I like it.
Angela says, but sometimes these actors understand their characters better than the writers. Bullshit. No one ever thought to feed Michael. Maybe he just wants a sandwich.
Well, he does eat dogs. Michael Myers needs dogs.
If Vicky wants to know, Mark, is Jamie Lee Curtis a nice lady in real life?
Unbelievably nice. The show, the last show I worked on was a show called You Again. Betty White, Sigourney Weaver. I mean, all the great women. Jamie Lee Curtis was the kind of person that would go at craft service and help put out food. So was Betty White at the wrap party. They were there greeting us. They both were wonderful, wonderful women. And every time both Steve Miner and Jamie Lee Curtis, when I walk up, they know I want to ask horror questions and more than willing to answer any questions I have. She's a wonderful person.
Now, Hunter Wayne says actors know how to get into actors' heads for performances like Ben Affleck. Now, let me tell you how this stuff works. These guys out there in Hollywood, they're going to let you know one thing, want you to see the magic. This is how it works. You hire one of these actors to come to your set and act. You give them a script. They study it for a few weeks. You do performances. You get some actors that come in and can switch it on, switch it off. Then you get some actors like Ben Affleck, like a lot of these that they call method actors. That just goes for they're crazy as hell. They show up on your set like they really that character, and they live that character for 24 hours, 7 days a week, until the project's done. They're crazy. I've worked with method actors. If somebody tell me they method, I'm going to get the hell up out of here with that crap. You lot be filming a movie, and they come in there after you off work, knock on your trailer door and come in there still in character talking about some hell no.
I got a story for you.
Tell me.
Dustin Hoffman and Sir Laurence Olivier, they did a movie. It was called Marathon Man, and in the movie, Dustin Hoffman was supposed to have ran a marathon when he gets abducted, and Sir Laurence Olivier is going to torture him. Well, Dustin Hoffman ran for like a marathon, came in, didn't sleep, and was completely in character. Brilliant performer, though. Brilliant performer. And Sir Laurence Olivier says, What's wrong with you? Why would you do this? And he goes, well, my character would do that. He goes, I haven't slept in 3 days, so I wanted to be in character. And he goes to Sir Laurence Olivier. He goes, what would you have done? And Sir Laurence Olivier said, I would have acted.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The method's crazy. I filmed something. We all got a bed. We all had our little trailers and everything. They come up in my trailer in the middle of the night. I forgot to lock the door. Talking about some, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? My character would do this. I'm sorry. I'm like, you better get that hell out of here before you get your ass whooped.
You know who would be alive and well today if it wasn't for that? It's River Phoenix. He got a film called The Basketball Diaries where he had never taken drugs. And he started experimenting with heroin, and he overdosed and died. And that was all because he was trying to be in character. Brilliant actor, though, So,
Hunter says comedians can never go into other genres and it end nice. Andrea says hi, Sergeant Barr. Hi, Andrea. Says, does anyone else like Halloween 3? What was your thoughts on Halloween 3, guys?
I mean, it was exactly it was exactly what John Carpenter wanted to do. He wanted to make a completely different movie each and every time, and that's what Halloween 3 was. Everybody, that 8 more days till Halloween. I enjoyed it. When I saw it, I went there thinking it was going to be a Michael Myers film, so I didn't like it. Went and saw it again. I enjoyed it,
Yeah. Now they're debating in the comments about
it doesn't bother me.
Crossing over, and they say, Hunter Wayne made that point. Some people are pointing out about Jordan Peele might disagree, but don't nobody care I don't care what Jordan Peele got to say. He can go hold hands across America for all I care. If they ruin Candyman, I will be mad.
Wait, ruin who?
Candyman. That's another one where they put a one-time director on Candyman.
Well, let's see.
Now they're giving her Captain Marvel too, I think, but nobody really liked Captain Marvel whatsoever. Whatever that thing is. Robert Williams. Kevin James did good in Becky, not really hard, but thriller with lots of blood. I mean, if you're a good actor, you can act any role, whether it be comedy or horror. But
Robin Williams, 1 Hour Photo. 1 Hour Photo is a brilliant horror film, and Robin Williams is brilliant in that. Just I wanted to bring that up because of his passing recently, but yeah, we watched it. Every year we watch a Robin Williams film, so I watched that, and he is brilliant in that. He was a great comedian, but he was brilliant in that.
Hunter Wayne says James Jew Courtney meditates into character on these movies. Pretty interesting, pretty cool. I mean, I could see you just sitting there kind of like, what will my guy do? Like when we were talking with Bill Moseley, I said, how you turn that crazy on? Well, I kind of think Bill might be a little crazy himself. He might really be open to not acting.
I think he's brilliant. I love him.
But he just acts like he's the only sanest person in the room. I thought that was pretty good, pretty cool. John said, to be quite honest, once I heard about Halloween Kills, I wasn't too excited for the announcement. I think it's more of a cash grab, in my opinion, but I wouldn't see the movie. See, this is my thing, is I'm not telling you guys not to see the movie at all. I'm saying don't go see it in theaters.
I don't think it's going to be in theaters. I think they're going to release it at home. I don't think we're going to be back in theaters until mid 2021. It's not going to happen.
That's
a shame. I really miss the movies.
Vicky says, I miss River Phoenix.
I do too. I think he was a brilliant actor.
Sean says, Basketball Diaries. I never knew about that about River Phoenix.
Yeah, little hot tip for you.
Sean says, I just watched The Lodge, and The Relic. Those were okay, but very confusing. There's not much good out right now.
You know what I finally watched was that Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island was like they got Mad Libs, and they literally just wrote, he goes to the refrigerator and he pulls out a shotgun. That movie made absolutely no, and it had nothing to do with Fantasy Island. That movie was greenlit. The remake of Black Christmas, that was greenlit. These are just, beyond appalling, horrible movies, unwatchable movies, and they get greenlit. Why can't we? Let's go make a movie, Sergeant Horror. I want to be doing this. I could scare people.
I would watch a movie the two of you made. And see, you're welcome. And Sergeant Horror, I didn't watch Fantasy Island in the theater, and I didn't watch a Black Christmas remake either, because I won't watch just anything, like anything horror. I won't go just because it's horror. A lot of us do, but those are ones that I didn't necessarily know.
And the thing I want you guys to know, I want to ask you guys too, and put it in the comments. Are you willing? And okay, Blumhouse has done said Halloween Kills is coming in 2021. I want to discuss that a little bit, but I want to know from everybody watching this: are you willing in 2021, if things are just what will it take to get you back in the theater to watch Halloween Kills? To me, I'll probably have to go because I'm gonna have to talk about it. I'm gonna have to probably review it. It's going to be a subject. I hate going in the theaters with a bunch of strangers. Nobody will shut the hell up when I'm in the theater. Everybody on their damn phone.
I want them dead. That's the reason I love that. I love the Alamo. I love places where they go in there and they make sure people don't talk. They make it enjoyable. I have anxiety when people start talking. There's a place. I always wanted to make it like some killer. That's all he did is took out people that talked in the theater. That would be my movie.
There you go.
Chokes them out. It's like, the rude person killer. I'd watch that. Of course, I'd go in the movie. I'd go to the movie to watch it, and the people would talk all the way through it.
Now,
have you heard the song? There's a song by the group Mastodon that they did for the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. It's called "Cut You Up with a Linoleum Knife," and it's all about movie theater etiquette and like what they'll do to you, how they'll like murder you. Did you bring your babies? Babies don't belong here. Take your seat outside. It's a fantastic song. I love it. I raised my kids to have respect in the movies.
When Evan showed a Sick Girl, he made like a little PSA, and the baby's crying all the way through the movie. And finally, the girl in Sick Girl grabs the baby and stabs it and kills it right then. Like, don't talk in the movies. Don't bring your baby. It's insane.
Well, you got Dave says I'm definitely going. The nostalgia factor is reeling me in.
Yeah, I'm with
What's
Dave.
the deal with Jason trying to kill that little girl we're talking about? I'm not quite sure. I'm excited because I love the first two, but I'm worried they may F it up. Peter, which big congratulations to Peter.
Congratulations.
Why?
The silencer.
What's that?
His baby.
Oh, congratulations, Peter.
He didn't have one. Somebody.
No. Yes.
Because he'd be rich if he had one.
It's going to break my daughter's heart. My daughter has such a cute crush on Peter.
Says I'm going.
Tell the girls I said hi.
Oh, I will.
Jay says I'm only going go to see the big budget visual movies in theaters. The rest I can wait to see at home.
It's true.
Vicky says some of our theaters here in Missouri are beginning to open only 2 movies a day, 1 a.m., 1 p.m. for cleaning.
Hey, Sergeant Horror, was Halloween Kill shot in North Carolina in your hometown over there somewhere?
Yes, it was, and I had some spies out there that was giving me some good information. They shot it down in Wilmington, North Carolina. Big shout out to people down there in Wilmington. It's a very, very good area to come and shoot, so y'all guys don't have to pay all that money like you do in LA. And about 45 minutes north of Wilmington is Camp Lejeune, or if you're from somewhere else, Lejeune. And New River Air Station, home of the Marine Corps. Hoorah, Simplify. But yeah, it was shot out there. Jason, I was hoping to run into Jason Bloom when he was out here, but we didn't get a chance to sit down.
I was working on a horrible live action Archie's TV show way back in the day. This was before Riverdale, which I liked. And I was working in this house off of Hollywood Boulevard, and vans would keep pulling up in front of the house and take pictures of us, set dressing the house. And finally, I asked the location guy, I go, are they taking pictures of us because we're working on a show that's coming up? He goes, no, this is where they shot the original Halloween. And I was like, what? I've been working in the house, in Laurie Strode's house for hours, and I had no idea I was there. They changed it so much. But yeah, I got the honor to be working in the house.
Well, some of the stuff I want to bring up, and I appreciate you guys letting us know. Like John right here saying that the movie theater was a drive-in, but I'm not going to a movie theater. I'm not going to go to a movie theater. I can barely stand to go to Walmart. There's some crazy people out there, and I don't like being around crazy people. But the reason I believe we're not going to see, the reason I really think that Blumhouse pushed it back is, one, they don't have faith in this cut of the film. They really don't. I don't think they have faith in the cut, or they would have dropped it on VOD and did what Worldwide Trolls did and made a bunch of money. They could have dropped it on VOD early access for $19.99. Universal has made a crap ton of money doing that so far, but Blumhouse, their distribution for Blumhouse is through Universal. With that being said, because Universal dropped Trolls Worldwide on VOD and bypassed the theater because of COVID-19, AMC and Regal has banned showing Universal film releases, which means that as of now, Universal would not show Universal could not get Halloween Kills into AMC or Regal theaters. So there's no theater venue for 2020 for them until they negotiate the debate that's going on with them. And part of that debate is movie theaters want a 90-day window before they can drop it on VOD and DVD and Redbox. And it's hard enough to make money off of movies regardless of what budget level you're at. And when you have theaters dictating when you can put your film out to the people, it's ridiculous. But I don't think they have faith in Halloween Kills cut.
I would agree with that, because the early screener, the first one took place months and months ago. So right. I would agree with that.
All right, guys, this is what I think they're going to do. And it's my theory and my theory only. Is that one of my Psycho posters, or is that yours? Did I get you that Psycho poster?
No, these are mine, but there's your cutout.
Oh, okay, got it. I told you I have the Psycho poster from Hitchcock, the actual one they had in the theater. I have a bunch of them, so I can hook you up. Well, I'm sorry. This is what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to knock Scary Farm, Universal Horror Nights. All that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to be doing anything on Halloween night. I think they're going to release it on Halloween. I think it's going to be I bet you starting in October, they're going to start pumping it up for a Halloween spectacular on your TV, because everybody's going to be stuck at home and everyone's going to watch it on Halloween. That's my theory.
Okay, so Levi pointed out, I just looked it up. AMC will allow Universal back in, but Universal has to wait 3 weeks after the theater run ends. Well, theater runs typically 45 to 90 days?
Yeah.
And then you got to wait. Anytime, once you gain, you know, in this society we live in where social media is so quick, anytime you take your foot off the gas pedal, you lose money. So to put it in theaters, you're talking about $20 million P&A. You know, nobody puts a Blumhouse. They spend $20 million each release, easy, maybe more. They don't disclose that, but they do. So they spend that kind of money, and then they got to probably spend another 10 or 15 or 5 million at least to drop it on VOD for advertising. See, a lot of people don't realize, I'm going to expose y'all bastards out there for what y'all do, is when you go into Netflix and Amazon and it says suggested or top titles or just for you, those people pay for those spots. That isn't Amazon or Netflix or Hulu being nice and showing you what you think they would like. Those are people that paid Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu the right to be in that spot. So, I mean, it's tough. I mean, that's why a lot of indie guys, you have to search and hold your mouth right and everything to get their new release to show up on Amazon. I don't know.
I think the only way I would watch Halloween Kills is if it was a free screener. I don't know that I would pay to go see it even at the movie theaters. But I think that there are some films that absolutely have to be seen in that environment. The Witch is one that we talked about. That
you guys,
that it has
you
to
guys
be
stay
seen
home.
that way.
I'll go watch it. I'm sorry. Hey,
but there's like, say, well, for example, say there's a movie like Ready Player One. To me, it was super exciting. I even saw it in 4DX. But when I watched it at home, it was rather lackluster. So I don't know. Free screener, I'd go, but that's probably it.
They got my money.
But free screener days are like over as of now. So.
Hey, okay. What are the two movies or the two shows that's playing in Halloween 2018 on the TV set? What are the two movies? I'm always curious. Whenever they show Halloween, they show, you know, from Rob Zombie's to the original Halloween. They always show movies. What are the movies that they're watching?
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's usually with Rob, there's usually something that's royalty free because they don't want to spend the money to clear nothing. So it's usually like a Night of the Living Dead because depending on
the Thing.
The Thing's in the original one.
Right.
Which is, you know, John Carpenter went on to do the great remake for The Thing. All right. The movies one's a TV show and one's a movie. The first one is a glimpse of a TV show, an obscure TV show called Voyager. And what's odd about it is they show John Eric Hexum. And I don't think this has anything to do with anything, but John Eric Hexum was an actor that took, while he was on set on another show, took a gun and put a blank in it and played Russian roulette and blew his brains out. And for some reason, they're showing a scene from Voyager. And like I say, the next show was the show that he blew his brains out. But the other movie is a Repo Man, and it's the motorcycle cop opening up the hood and getting it taken out. I love stuff like that.
See, I don't memorize stuff like that. I got too much going on in my head. If you ask me trivia, I Google that stuff. There's this thing called Google Mark. You can look up anything in the world. It ain't like the card catalog back when you had to look at the little card at the library and find the book.
I am a horror
You don't even got to type it. You just go, okay, Google, what was on Halloween? And that thing's going to come up. So I don't remember none of that.
You're going to be at a bar with me one day, and they're going to do a $50 prize, and they're going to go, what was on the marquee during Gremlins? And I'm all like, A Boy's Life, and Look Towards the Sky, which was the working titles to
E.T.
E.T. and Close Encounters.
If I'm in a bar, I'm not going to be sitting there playing trivia.
I'm going to win $50. I'm going to win $50.
I'm going to go look for something.
I love trivia too. I live for movie commentaries, especially like one-on-one with the director. It's always nice to have cast and crew and everybody, the actors. But say, for example, like John Waters does some of my favorite commentaries. So informative, and really, he's having a good time watching the movie as we're watching. So I live for commentaries.
I was an extra on E.T. That's how I knew it was A Boy's Life.
Robert makes a point. He says, I'll watch any horror movies. I support horror. If we don't support as a horror movie, who will? I kind of agree with you, Robert. But if you go out and make crap, I'm not going to support crap. And too many indie people are out here making some horrible movies. You got digital cameras. I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember shooting stuff on tape. You get two GL2s and trying to light that right, or shooting it on VHS and piecing it together. You got all this technology. Some of these guys are giving us low budget doo-doo.
Yeah, but you got to look. I still got to watch it. I still have to make sure, because you never. There's a movie out right now. It's called Host. It's during the pandemic. Do you guys know about this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's everything that I would hate. You know, it's this. It's people doing this, they're trying to raise a demon and kind of thing. And the demon exists, and he starts taking out all of them. And it's like, are you kidding me? But it's really good. It's a solid film. And not to be confused with the original Host, which is a Korean film, which is really good too. But it's a good, solid film. And it's just this. It's during the pandemic, and it's just the same thing we're doing, except that somebody would come up right now, grab my face, sorry, and kill me.
Yeah,
you know something?
I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it's a Shudder original. I ain't been too impressed with Shudder. I don't know about you guys.
It's good. I'm telling you. I mean, it picks up at the end. I thought so.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment that something about modern horror that is usually a disappointment for me is the lack of practical effects. Because practical effects, there's something to be said. For me, the reason that The Entity is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, it stayed with me my entire life. I bought the Blu-ray and didn't watch it for a year because I was still terrified. The little girl in me was still, But how did they do that? And I'm sure you gentlemen have seen it, and you know the effects that I'm talking about, and like movies like The Thing and everything. So much CGI these days is just really disappointing. It's like, wow, you have all of this computer technology available, and this is the best you can do. Like It, I was so disappointed with the It movies. Like, really, this is the best that you could do. So.
Yeah,
Robert brought up a good point. He said, how would you know if it's cheap if you don't watch it or want it? I'm thinking he means watch it. This is how I know it's cheap. I'll spend hours watching trailers on Amazon. I look at the covers and I look at the trailer. So this is what happens. These guys spend probably about $1,000 on the cover and it looks good. And you're like, man. And then you turn that trailer on and they can't even download color correction LUTs or a freaking Adobe Premiere Pro preset to correct their color. They can't understand the 3-point lighting system. I don't care if you got a garage light and you're Robert Rodriguez and Rebel Without a Crew. I love those films. But I don't like the ones where you can't even get a stabilizer, but you can spend $2,000 on the cover, spend $500 on the cover, and then get you one of them DJI stabilizers and go with it. I mean, I understand you're not going to have indie guy's not going to have a dolly. He's not going to have, the red. He's not going to be shooting with, $2,000-$3,000 glass because that stuff is expensive. But you could put some effort, and there's a lot of people that are making projects that aren't putting the effort in their projects. They put an effort in the cover. And some of them are putting effort in the trailer, and they trick you, and you watch. And the movie's nothing like you thought it was.
Or the best parts are in the trailer.
Yeah.
Or the best parts are in the trailer, and then you watch it, you're like, oh, seriously?
I mean, I get what Robert's saying. I support people that make good quality products, even if it's low budget and they put a good effort in it. I'll forgive them. But let me throw this out here. I hold studios like Blumhouse to a higher standard than I hold the indie filmmaker. I forgive the indie filmmaker for not having a budget, but if you got $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million, if you're making a $10 million movie and you're making mistakes, get the hell out of here. There is no excuse if you got $1 million budget that you can't put $250,000. You ought to be able to make the best horror movie ever with all the technology we have.
Sergeant Horror, and I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of people that make this film. You know, when they make a bad film, there's a lot of reasons for it. You know, it's like if you had a bad hamburger at McDonald's, you can't blame Ronald McDonald's. There's a lot of people across the board. And I'm one of them. I've worked on some of the worst of the worst. If you IMDb me, you look some of the stuff that I did. I mean, they were horrible. They were horrible. I was watching them do a horrible film. And what happens a lot of times is you'll have like somebody that's a producer that just wants to make money. So he's got other producers giving him money to make this movie. And he's going to do it as cheap, as low budget as possible. But he's going to finish the film and they're going to put it out. It's going to be horrible. But that one producer is going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's usually, if there's a really bad film, there's a reason for it. There's a reason with either the producer or one of the writers, daughters. They brought him in because there's so many people involved in making movies, and when it's bad, it's because there's so many people making bad movies. And like I say, I'm to blame because I took the paycheck and I do it, but I'm on set going, wow, this is horrible. I would never watch this film. I have a list of films I don't want to bring up, but that are just appalling. But I knew somebody was making money off it, and it wasn't. It gets made, it gets distributed. It doesn't make money at all. In fact, people have lost their homes and everything else because they believed the producer was going to do things and it was going to be successful. They show them, movies like Halloween, how much money they've made. But it's usually, a lot of, especially in low budget, because you don't need an actor. You could, you put a guy in a mask and, a knife and he can go around killing people. You're going to make a bad movie.
Mark, as well as I do, you just can't put anybody in a mask.
But they do it. They do it. If a guy goes
off, you need a good actor that specializes in movement and silent acting.
I know that. I know that. I mean, like the people that I got Nick Principe the part as Chrome Skull. I brought him to Rob Hall and said,
"See, that's a great example. He moves like a killer."
Yeah, he knew his shit. He knew his shit.
Low budget stuff.
Yeah,
they just pull an extra off the street for $25.
They bring the producer's son off the street. They bring their nephew that wants to be an actor off the street. A lot of times it's they don't put it in their credits, but this is their film reel, or this is the only film they're ever going to be in, but they're going to star in it. And that a lot of times, it's like I did it for my son, for his birthday. They had, I had $500,000. I'm always looking for that guy because I think I could make a decent horror film. Somebody out there wants to make a decent horror film. Let's talk. But I've seen it happen all my film career, because when I'm not doing Prana 3D, I'm doing the Rollerblade 7. I'll do really low budget films because I love doing films. But they're bad. But I love doing them.
Technically, in the first Halloween movie, in Carpenter's Halloween, there's like technically 4 people who play Michael Myers. You have Nick Castle, and then you have what's her name, like Joni's brother. I always forget his name.
Oh yeah.
And then like Tommy Lee Wallace, and even Deborah Hill at one point like donned the mask, like, or for a shot. So technically, there's 4 people playing Michael Myers in that. And actually, I just wanted to take a second for all of the Halloween fans out there and shout out the unsung hero of the movie Halloween. At least one of the unsung heroes, in my opinion, is photographer Kim Gottlieb Walker, who's she took so many of the iconic behind the scenes photos, like the one of Nick Castle drinking the Dr. Pepper and the mask is back behind him. And not enough people who love the franchise know her name. So I just wanted to give a second, and I had the chance to meet her, and I absolutely adore her and her work. So I just wanted to say that for all the Halloween fans.
We should have her on here one night.
When I was doing Rob Zombie's Halloween, we're out in front of the house, and Rob was talking to Little Deeg, the little Michael Myers, and they went around the corner, and they were sitting on the curb in front of the house. And I'm like on the walkie going, where is our set photographer? This is the greatest shot in the world. Literally had to go get her. I personally pounded on her car door. Goes, come here. And she came and she took the picture, and everybody like praises her for that photo. But I begged her. I go, you got to come see it. But it's a great shot because you have the Michael Myers house in the background. You have Little Deeg sitting in the clown suit talking with Rob. There's, like that. I knew it was going to be iconic,
Yeah, because
Now,
sometimes those photos are so easily and commonly associated with the movie, and they're very important. So
You
now
ever
I
notice?
want to run a theory by you guys and get your opinion on this, okay? Look at this picture from Halloween Kills.
oh, this is the one you were talking about.
I think that they're going to pull something like what happened with Danielle Harris, that Michael and the granddaughter has some type of connection.
I don't think so.
And you can't, looking at that picture, do you think that actor is tall enough to be Michael Myers?
No.
Unless they took this to be misleading, but it does seem like a very small, a much smaller person than James Jude Courtney or whoever they would have playing Michael.
Do you think she's going to dress up like Michael and go around to scare people or something like?
Can you think about
Danielle
it?
Harris in 4.
I mean, what's the vibe in Hollywood? It's a very, and there's nothing wrong with this, but the vibe is and being more inclusive of females in different roles,
Yeah.
and female empowerment. What more female empowerment could you have than a Michael Myers female?
Yeah, but they tried it and it didn't work. They tried it with the satanic thing with Danielle Harris. It didn't work.
And it looks like they're going to try that again. That's no way. That's still, if that's really from the movie, there's no way that that's really a full-size Michael Myers unless that's just a very misleading angle. What do you guys think watching this? Do you think that is a female Michael Myers right there that we're seeing, or is that the real Michael Myers, or is that just a weird-ass angle?
Yeah, because that looks very slight. The stature looks very slight on that person.
Yeah, I
don't
think
have a problem with a female Michael Myers. I ain't got no problem with that.
Michelle Myers, you mean? Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem. Now, I want to show y'all this, and Universal will probably give us crap over it, but I'm going to show it anyway. Yeah, Universal, you guys are the worst at wanting us to talk about your movies, but then giving us a copyright strike when we play the full trailer. Stop doing that to journalists there, Universal.
We're going to show the trailer?
Okay, I'm going to show this. Boom. This is the teaser that they released.
Oh, I've seen this. I love the pumpkin. It's going to be it. Oh, her holding the knife?
Oh, this was cringe. I did not. No.
She's going back to stab her boyfriend that cheated on him.
I mean, she's holding the knife.
Yeah, that's true.
I did notice at the end of the first one, or Halloween 2018, that they did kind of focus on that as the movie was ending.
That'd be horrible.
I mean, hey, it's kind of in line with Your Highness and Pineapple Express. They went in there. I could see them. They went in there and said, hey, we got too many men in the movie. We need to have more diversity. So we're going to appeal to the movement, which is fine. And we're going to create a spot. And we're going to like Thorn Cult it because those movies made money. But they're not going to call it the Thorn Cult. They're not smart enough to do that. But why are you going to exclude parts? Why are you going to exclude part 2, 3, 4, and 5 only to bite from them in your work? That's what I don't understand. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think your granddaughter is going to kill some people?
I think it'd be a tragic mistake, but hey, they've done it before, And I, you know, they do a close up on the knife, so I don't know.
And you know, the number one rule in writing when you write movies is if you show it, you got to use it. They teach that in writing class.
Yeah. It's
What do you
machete. It's a machete on the side of the boat, you know, it's glistening off the sun. You know that machete was going to be chopping up a shark soon.
I did question that, even like I said at the end of the first one, how they kind of focused on the knife. It's like, well, what's the big deal with that? But that was only my second time watching the teaser because I cringed when I heard Jamie Lee, "Oh, let it burn." I was like, ugh, it turned me off. So, but I think that, I think that you may have a point there, especially with that photo. So
now if Jamie Lee got up in the back of the truck and was like, the roof on fire, that would make a good Halloween. Because that was kind of what she did when she's like, let it burn.
Yeah.
Now
that was a turnoff for me.
Now I think Michael needs to come out that house because they show him outside of on the porch, not burnt. So obviously her 40 years of trying to Sarah Connors the house up, she can't even lock somebody in a basement. It is not hard to lock people in your basement. I could teach you. No, I can't teach you, but it's not hard. You can Google that stuff. It's on the internet. So the fact that she was so inadequate that she couldn't lock Michael in the basement, he gets out and he's standing on the porch. Now, if he starts stabbing up firefighters right at the beginning of the movie, within 15 seconds of the movie, he should be stabbing up firefighters and first responders and making his way to the hospital.
That's why I said I was good with the movie ending where it was. I was disappointed when they announced 2 sequels. One is okay, maybe, but 2 of them.
Yeah, I really hope they don't go with. You know, you always get afraid when you watch these films. It's going to be, you know, the reverse Mrs. Palmer. You know, where you're going to think it's the woman. But I just think it'd be a tragic mistake. But who knows? They've done worse.
That's almost like what Rob Zombie did with H2, where Angel Myers ended up kind of taking the Michael Myers, like, oh, okay, where she kind of turned into him, or the killer. That killer instinct was there.
Yeah, that.
And I hope they don't do no cheesy CGI with his hand, because Jamie shot some of his fingers off.
That's right.
So continuity, the whole film, he better be wearing a green screen glove with just 2 fingers out.
You're making me think that it's not the same Michael Myers that is killing. It's somebody else. You're making me think that.
I mean, Michael could be traumatized, burnt up. They could put burnt up Nick Castle in ICU on life support, controlling the granddaughter by mind. That's my prediction.
I hope not.
Last words, guys. We coming up on the hour. Any last words? Go ahead, go, Mark, because I know you got some last words.
I mean, I'm just going to quote the great John Carpenter. He says, "The strongest human emotion is fear. It's the essence of any good thriller. You must believe in the boogeyman." John Carpenter, ladies and gentlemen.
Phantasm420, your last words? Not your last words, the last words.
If this one doesn't scare you, you're already dead. Phantasm. I'm probably going to end up watching it. I love Halloween 2018. I'm going to watch that one again, hopefully with the commentary. And I don't know. We'll see where this goes. But I like the points that you made, Sergeant Horror. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that who's going to be the actual killer this time around. Unless they're totally misleading us, and because that's happened too. So
Michael
it'll be fun
Myers
to see, or not fun at all.
New Halloween Kills, so it's gonna be funny. But anyway, I appreciate everybody watching. You know, let us know what your favorite Blumhouse movie is. Let us know what you think of the Halloweens. Tag somebody in here that should be watching this, Stay safe out there. Keep a good eye after each other. And we'll see you soon. Sergeant Horror, Mark, and Phantasm420. For Mad Monster, we're out.
See you later.